Daytime exclusive.
I started wondering, was it me? What was I wearing? Did I bring this on myself?
Why his wife told him they're through.
I said, I'm going to leave your raggedy behind, and you're going to pay my child support for me and my new man.
What made you decide to stay? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, many of you know Hollywood actor Terry Crews. Now, he played the hilarious Latrell Spencer in the movie White Chicks, action hero Hail Caesar in the movie The Expendables, and he currently stars as Sergeant Terry Jeffords in the Golden Globe award-winning sitcom Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Take a look.
Whoa. Is this a new detective car?
It sure is. I put in the paperwork 18 months ago and got lucky. They fast-tracked it. Say hello to the 9-9's brand new, fully loaded, sweet as hell crime pressure on wheels.
But what many of you may not know is that Terry, who says reinvention is not only necessary but therapeutic for him, is also an artist. Former NFL player, author, husband of 28 years to his wife Rebecca, and father of their 5 children. Now, most recently, he joined the hashtag #MeToo movement when he sent out a series of tweets where he claimed he was sexually assaulted by a high-level Hollywood executive. He was also named one of Time Magazine's 2017 Person of the Year as one of the silence breakers after speaking out publicly about sexual harassment. Take a look.
Right now, I have a lawsuit that's pending against William Morris Endeavor and Adam Bennett, the head of the motion picture department at the agency. Rebecca and I were invited to a party. Adam is across the room. I don't know this man, but I know of him. So I'm looking at him across the room, and he's sticking his tongue out at me in very overtly sexual moves to me. He starts to make his way across the room, and I put my hand out like, hey, hello, sir. He sticks his hand out, and then he just goes for my genitals and grabs me, and I smack his hand back like, yo, what is going on? You know, like, I wanted to put all his teeth on the ground. I get my composure, grab my wife's hand, and we leave. The deal is, anyone who assaults you puts shame on you. They slap the shame. It's a scarlet letter. You are now marked. And as long as you internalize it, you'll never leave. I have decided I will not be shamed. Once the Harvey Weinstein story broke, those 16 tweets I tweeted out, it was about supporting. It was about letting the women who've been victimized know that I've been there and I'm with you.
Time Magazine. How did that feel to be featured and to tell your story?
It's bigger than me. I was representing those who had been trampled, had never had a voice, had risked everything they had to come forward. The moment you say no more, you're an activist. That's hashtag #MeToo. It's my responsibility to stand up, to also be an example of action. Unless everyone is held accountable every time, nothing will change.
Well, please welcome my friend and actor, Terry Crews.
I gotta do this. This is one of those. On Dr.
You gotta teach me to do that. Y'all have a seat. You got some fans in the house.
Oh,
here.
this is awesome. Wow, it's so good to be here. Thank you.
Well, So how are you?
I'm doing good, doing very good.
So how's it feel to be named one of the Time Magazine's Person of the Year?
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Doctor. Yeah, you have to understand, it's really wild, because George Orwell said, in times of universal deceit, just telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. And what's happened is that when you just decide to say no more, when you say, I'm not putting up with this, all of a sudden the world notices. And to be honest, I was in support of all these women, because what was happening is once they came forward, there were so many men, this toxic masculinity that's been pervaded all through America and all throughout the world. They were calling these women gold diggers, opportunists. They were saying they just wanted a payday. And it made me angry, because I knew it had happened to me. And I knew that I had been quiet about it.
You reported this to your agency.
Yes. I went to everyone there when it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 months earlier than when I came out. And what was crazy is that when I did those tweets, I didn't name anyone. But I got calls immediately, like literally in an hour, from the agency, like, are you okay? You okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And they said, well, we didn't know, Terry. I said, well, then why are you calling me? I didn't mention anybody in the tweets. Let me tell you something. And when you start catching people in lies, when you start seeing the gaslighting happen, this is what women have been going through for years. You're crazy. You don't understand. We didn't mean it that way. It was horseplay, Terry. I said, first of all, you wouldn't even grab your pet like that. Why would you touch another human being like that?
We're looking at some of your tweets now, and you started putting these things up. And you said he called me the next day with an apology, but never really explained why he did what he did.
You're wondering what's happening. Was it me? What was I wearing? You start to wonder, like, what did I bring this on myself? But once I decided to get rid of the shame, I was free. And by coming out and saying what happened to me, it freed me. And I realized, and I tell people, I did nothing wrong. And you have to continue to repeat this. And anybody who's ever been in that position, never take that shame that someone else is trying to put on you.
You bet. We have a statement from William Morris. In fairness, I have to say they used to represent me. They don't anymore, but they used to. An investigation was launched immediately after management was made aware of the situation in October of last year. The investigation resulted in Adam Bennett being suspended without pay and demoted from his position as head of the motion picture department. We take all claims of misconduct seriously and take action based on the findings of a thorough investigation.
They say they were aware October of last year, but I told them February of the year before when it happened. First of all, if you say you didn't know, okay, let's just say you didn't know, then you're too stupid to run my career. That's the real. But I gotta add to that, but you're not stupid. And I'm not gonna treat you like you're stupid. And you can't treat me like I'm stupid. So let's talk about what's really happening. And I am filing a lawsuit, and in my lawsuit, he's trying to rebut with, well, I did it, but it wasn't sexual. You grab sexual parts, it's instantly sexual. There's the fact that this is sexual harassment, but there's also the side that I had to look at where, as an African-American man in America, had I retaliated violently, what would have happened to me? And I know that I would have been painted as a thug, and William Morris would have never had any mercy on me in regards to lawsuits, and I would have been tied up, and my career probably would have ended, but I did the right thing.
Yes, you did. Yeah. You went through the system. Right. All right, coming up, we're going to meet a very special lady. I'm talking about Terry Crew's wife, and find out why she says she almost divorced this man. We're going to find out what Terry did to save his marriage after the break.
All during the success of the career, I've had an addiction to pornography. It was always hidden and secret and this and that, and I never told my wife.
When I first confronted Terry, we had it out. I said, you know we're done, right?
And later, do you have any reservations about him going public with this?
He didn't tell me.
You've not really talked about this before. You comfortable talking about it here? Well, actor Terry Crews says his marriage to his college sweetheart, Rebecca, was nearly destroyed because of his addiction to pornography. Now, Rebecca says they had a come-to-Jesus moment where Terry also confessed to being unfaithful.
Rebecca and I have been able to manage this family, this career over the last 28 years just by being a team.
Right beside me.
My wife was trying to get me on the right plan, and there was the ego. I was a card-carrying member of this toxic masculinity, and it all came through with me realizing that I didn't know everything. When we got married, we started having a family. She put everything on hold for 20 years. There were times I would have 3 jobs at the same time, and she was like, I've got the kids, I'm taking care of the home. All during the success of the career, I've had an addiction to pornography. It was always hidden and secret and this and that, and I never told my wife during our whole marriage. And I finally broke.
When I first confronted Terry, we had it out. He told me about the prostitute. He told me about all the porn things. I said, you know we're done, right? He's like, what? What? I told you everything. I said, that's good, but now it's over.
That woke me up. I was like, I need to get better for me.
The hardest part was knowing that someone I loved, respected, and trusted was nothing like I thought he was. And now it's like a lie. Everything was a lie. I believe in the heart of every man is this little bit of pride, this little bit of arrogance that says, oh, she won't leave. But when he saw that I meant business, I think it really challenged him. He says that he made the commitment to get better, whether or not he got us back.
Eventually, Rebecca did choose to come back. I had to earn it, and still am earning it.
He suddenly became very transparent. It was really not like him in my mind. He put the money where his mouth was, and he went to see a counselor, and afterwards, I would say it took me probably 3 years to trust him again. I have little moments now of PTSD. When I look back over my life.
Rebecca Crews is my backbone. When someone knows you from good all the way to the rottenest, dirtiest part of you, and loves you anyway. That's the rarity. That's where you want to be.
Well, Rebecca, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. It's my tremendous pleasure.
You guys have been married 28 years, right? Mm-hmm. And you and I were talking earlier, there have been ups and downs,
yes.
Clearly. And you said that you had a come-to-Jesus moment in your marriage that almost led to divorce. Describe that moment for us.
Well, my husband was away on location shooting a project, and we got into an argument because he was out late with his cast members, but it turned out he was out late with one cast member. I started to hammer him with questions. And all of a sudden, he starts coming out of his skin with these confessions. 10 years ago, I did this. 13 years ago, I did this. And I have this addiction to pornography. And he starts to tell me all this horrible, horrible stuff. And my immediate reaction was to throw him out. And I did.
Obviously, it brought out a lot of emotions. One of them was anger. I know you said when we were talking to you earlier, You said, I thought, I'm going to take your money and move on with my life.
Yes.
I'm still young, and I've got my groove, and I'm going to get a new man, and I'm going to keep it moving.
Yes. When I said to him, you know we're done, right? He's like, what?
Yes,
What?
I
You're
did.
going to leave me?
I did.
You're going to leave me? I said, yes, I'm going to leave your raggedy behind, and I'm going to take your money, too.
Yeah.
And I said, I said, you're going to pay my child support for me and my new man. That's
No, I got to tell you, man, guys operate off pride.
Tell it, honey.
We do. No, and you're successful, you feel like that buys you a pass. That it's her, that it's them, it's everyone else. But then a small voice came to me and said, maybe it's me. You know, I did not go to rehab to get my wife back. I went there because I needed to be a better person.
What made you decide to stay? What made you decide to give this another shot?
God. I give thanks to God because there was something in my heart that kept telling me, this is a death, but there could be a resurrection. And my husband called me. He called me from the hotel where he was staying, and he said, honey, I don't care what it takes. I will do anything not to lose you. And I believe in the power of redemption, and all of us deserve second chances. But that second chance has to be, it has to be because you are doing the things that cause people to put their faith back in you.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to ask Rebecca how she feels about Terry's involvement in this Me Too movement and talk a little bit about how that affects a marriage. We'll be right back.
Crowded party. This gentleman comes across the room, and then suddenly my husband backs into me, and I was like, oh snap, what in the heck?
And later, shocking allegations have a marriage on the rocks.
Did you steal a pair of her underwear to get it DNA tested?
Yes.
Are you having an affair with your stepfather?
My wife, Rebecca, is ruthlessly honest. And she's been honest with me from day one. There were a lot of times I didn't listen. I really felt that I was more valuable than my family simply because I was a man. And so that shuts you off from a lot of empathy. I think as a person, you're not allowed to see your own faults. A lot of people don't realize how valuable it is to have one person in your life that's going to tell you the truth about yourself. I would like to say I've been that way for her sometimes, but she's been doing that a lot more for me.
Well, that was actor Terry Crews, who is with us this hour talking about the ups and downs of marriage. His wife, Rebecca, says during the time they were dealing with Terry's addiction to pornography and his infidelity, she became bitter, but Terry bore her pain and helped her overcome what she was going through. You saw him acknowledge that he had to change some things here, and you can't do it if you don't admit it, right?
Once I admitted I was guilty, and it just started pouring out. Right. And it just was one of those things, I'm guilty, but now we can start on developing the discipline that it took to correct the problem.
And another thing that he did was he allowed me to vent. You know, if I had to talk about it, if I had to bring it up, if I had to cry, if I had to ask another question, he bore with that. He said, if you want to throw a pot at me, you can throw a pot at me. He said, but I'm not going to lose you because you mean that much to me.
Yeah. You have to make amends. It is not enough to just say you're sorry.
You know, after coming through all of that, then you wind up where you are in the middle of this Me Too movement. You were there at the party with him, and I have to refer to it as an alleged incident. What did you observe?
Well, I was standing there with him, crowded party, and this gentleman comes across the room, And I'm kind of looking at him and then looking around and who's here. And then suddenly my husband backs into me, like his hips go backwards, and he backs into me and he pushes this man through this sea of people like they went down like bowling pins. Like people just went like this. And I
If you could take the sword, take the pill and don't get hurt, because you've had to leave, you've had to change the court. But now you're here to save the world for someone else too. Would you let your tears be in the middle of the night? Use my last, you walk by, and then you said goodbye. What's it gonna take to make your cry? Please forgive me.
was like, oh, snap, it's popping off in here. What in the heck? And I have seen my husband put people on the floor because, you know, there's alcohol and people want to test the big guy, you know what I'm saying? And I had told my husband, I said, you can't be putting people out, Terry. I said, you're going to be taking college money for those babies and giving it to some joker in the club who wanted to start a fight with you. And he said, honey, I'm so glad you told me that because I was going to put this guy's teeth in his throat. He pushes him. The guy comes back toward him. Terry is grabbing him. He's got a hold of both the man's wrists like this. And he says, calls out to Adam Sandler, who was the host of the party. Hey, Adam, come get your boy. What's up with your boy? And he pushed the guy again, and the guy kind of gave up, I guess. I don't know what happened. And he takes me, and we kind of snake through this crowd of people to get to the other side of the room to get away from him. And I just, I'm in that like state of what the heck, I was like, what happened? He's like, he grabbed my junk. I'm like, he what? He did what? Like, what the heck? I was just shocked.
Did you have any reservations about him going public with this?
He didn't tell me. I was in a recording studio, and I come home at 9 o'clock at night, and he goes, honey, have you seen my Twitter? I was like, I was like, what did you do? He's like, look, he shows me the tweet feed. I was like, oh, you done started some mess now, T-Money. Yeah. I did have a brief moment of, are we leaving L.A.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retaliation is real.
Yep.
You know how many women who spoke up and said, this guy touched me, and immediately, or 2 weeks later, they were all of a sudden mysteriously fired? I mean, this has happened. I was totally prepared, and I told my wife, and I said, this may be it. I said, we may have to leave.
You've not really talked about this before, and, we're talking about it very candidly here. You comfortable talking about it here?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, honey, please. When he put that gauntlet down, I was right there beside him. I was like, Wonder Woman and Superman, bring it on.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to meet a couple who say their 20-year relationship has been rocked by accusations of infidelity and lies. And all three of us have something to say to them, and we're going to talk to this family together. We'll be right back.
Jay is accusing me of sleeping with my mom's fiance, John.
My God, do you have any idea how disgusting that is to me? I don't have any proof, I just know it.
Jay believes that we have made this sick arrangement for me to sleep with John so that my mother doesn't have to. Jay is acting very paranoid.
Actor Terry Crews and his wife Rebecca are here today with us. Now, my next guest could learn something from these guys, and Nicole claims that her boyfriend and father of her children, Jay, put tracking devices on her phone, brainwashed their 17-year-old son into turning against her, and even accused her of cheating on him with her mother's fiance, which is an accusation that Nicole vehemently denies. But Jay says he is 100% convinced that Nicole is cheating, and claims Nicole and her mother's fiance even put spyware on his phone so they would know his schedule and be able to plan their rendezvous. Take a look.
6 months ago, Jay started making crazy accusations against me. He is accusing me of sleeping with tons of different men and having affairs with my mom's fiance, John. Jay is acting very paranoid.
I am 95% certain that she is sleeping with John. I don't sleep with my future's stepdad. My God, do you have any idea how disgusting that is to me? I don't have any proof, I just know it. Nicole has cheated on me more times than I can count.
He has even gone so far as to hire a private investigator.
At the heart of this conspiracy, Nicole is having sex with John for her mother.
Jay believes that we have made this sick arrangement for me to sleep with John so that my mother doesn't have to.
John has enough money to keep Laura comfortable. They have gone to great lengths to conceal this truth from me.
Jay asked if he could look into my phone, and he has kept it ever since.
When I confront her about the encrypted text messaging apps, she says she has never used it.
He says I'm using these secret apps to hide my whereabouts, things of that nature.
I believe that Nicole and John do spy on me, using geo-tracking and other apps.
I have never colluded with John and my mom to spy on you.
He even went so far as to steal a pair of my panties to send to a lab to be tested for other men's DNA.
I have stopped working since November 15th, and I have not worked since to this day, just to get to the bottom of this. I'm here to find out the truth. I'm devastated by these accusations, Jay. I just want them to stop.
I want this paranoid behavior to end.
I'm going to ask you straight up. Are you having an affair with your stepfather?
Absolutely not.
That's a strange thing to ask somebody, but I'm asking you. You have an affair with your stepfather?
Absolutely not.
Have you ever had any kind of sexual assignation with your stepfather?
I have never had any type of sexual contact with my soon-to-be stepfather.
Are you having an affair with some neighbor?
Absolutely not.
Have you ever had an affair with some neighbor?
Never.
Has he asked you that?
Absolutely.
Have you told him that?
Absolutely.
Okay. You believe that she is John's sugar baby?
Yes.
That he's just paying her and all that? Okay. Did you steal a pair of her underwear to get it DNA tested?
Yes.
Dr. Phil, I took a lie detector test. I passed.
We both agree that did not go the way that we had planned.
However, Dr. Phil, I
was not in that room.
Jay.
That was supposed to be the plan.
I had a lie detector test done. 2 times he asked me, Nicole, since August of 2013, have you had any sexual contact with anyone other than Jay? My answer was no. I passed it. He asked me to lie 1 time. I lied 1 time. That lie detector test was like this the whole entire time because I told the truth, except for the 1 question that he told me to lie on, Dr. Phil, and then it was up like this. I am telling the truth.
So you had her take a lie detector test, and she passed it, but then you didn't believe it?
No, I didn't believe that.
And you didn't believe it because you weren't in the room?
Because I wasn't in the room. That was the plan.
Well, no, that's not the plan. If you're in the room, then the test is invalid.
Okay.
We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about this and a whole lot more right after the break. You have quit your job, so you have more time to monitor her.
This is madness.
It is impossible to love someone and control them at the same time.
Jay is a completely different person. In the past 6 months to a year, he has accused me of lying, cheating, colluding with my mother and her fiance, John, and putting spyware on his phone. I want Jay to know that none of us are against him.
I do believe I could just be paranoid, but based on the history, I don't think I am.
Well, actor Terry Crews is here today with his wife, Rebecca. Terry has written a really great book. It's Manhood. It's How to Be a Better Man or Just Live with One. We're also talking to Nicole, whose mother, Laura, and fiance, John, say her boyfriend, Jay, is controlling and constantly accusing Nicole of cheating.
My daughter's boyfriend, Jay, is a danger to my daughter, Nicole. Jay is very controlling. Nicole has to literally give Jay updates of where she is every day. Jay lives an hour away, and he'll drive up and down our street to see if Nicole is there or not. Jay makes absolutely crazy accusations. Jay had the guts to accuse her of sleeping with my fiance, John, when I was in the hospital.
I've never had any kind of sexual relationship with Nicole. It is absolutely false. Jay is definitely paranoid. He hired a PI to follow her when he was out of town and actually called Nicole when she was at Walmart and told her what she was wearing.
Jay had given Nicole a phone. Jay had tracking on that phone, so I decided that we would buy Nicole a nice phone.
Jay was very upset because he could no longer track her, and eventually he stole the phone and refuses to give it back.
Jay brainwashes their 17-year-old son to hate Nicole. Jay tells their son that his mother is a piece of crap, that Nicole is sleeping with other men. Their youngest son has now disowned Nicole.
Jay does carry a loaded firearm. Something could set him off. He could come to our house and try to kill all of us.
He could snap at any time.
Really?
Laura, John, thank you guys for joining us very much.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Have you said negative things about her to either of your boys?
Yes, I'm not going to say that I can hide how I feel in my own house.
Okay, so you have said negative things about her.
I have said,
boys.
yeah, yes.
Okay, I just wanted to know that.
Jay is a wonderful father. He is an amazing father to our sons. Until these past few months, he has never, ever told our children, involved our children in our personal, private, adult life. He has never once ever put hands on me or been aggressive towards me.
First off, he has accused you of having, are you having an affair with your stepdaughter?
No, I'm not having any kind of sexual affair with her.
Okay.
Or anyone else.
Yeah.
Why did you always try to break us up? How come you weren't the one that always...
Don't answer that question. I'm going to tell you why I'm telling not to answer that question. He has asked you if you're having an affair. You've said no. He's asked you to have an affair with the neighbor. And don't answer that question again, ever. Because what you're doing is you're playing into this game here. Right. And this tracking you and this tracking you on the phone and needing to know where you are and all of that, that is absolutely dysfunctional, unhealthy. Do not continue to do that. If you answer it the first 100 times and you're not believed, what makes you think the next 500 times are going to change?
They're not.
The belief.
I wanted to interject. Has there been infidelity between you in the past?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I believe that's the issue, that you have not healed from whatever happened before.
I agree.
Yes.
It was literally like a 24-hour-a-day job to keep my sanity after going through this kind of betrayal. And I'll be honest with you, I doubted. I spent a short period of time tracking my husband, but he gave me permission. After about 4 or 5 times that I did, like, find my iPhone or where is he where he says, 4 or 5 times I did that, he was where he said he was. I had to make a quality decision that I was going to trust what he was telling me until I knew otherwise. It was hard, but this is madness.
It is impossible to love someone and control them at the same time. They cannot coexist.
I agree.
This is so dysfunctional. You have quit your job, have you not?
I have.
So you have more time to monitor her.
You stay up for days and days and days, and you look in that phone, and you try to find places that I've been.
Laura says her daughter Nicole still does not have a clue that Jay is a danger. Plus, there are a few things their son said about their mother that I am absolutely not okay with.
Oh, man.
We'll be right back.
Right.
Dr. Phil, Jay, no, Finny, hold on. You need help, babe. There's something wrong with you. This is not you. You need help. You're living in the past, honey. You need to come back. I need you to come back. You're not the dad.
One of the things that Dr. Phil said, can I say something?
No, I'm not. You need to listen to me right now. I am your best friend. You have known me for 20 years. I need you back. I need you back in reality for yourself, for your children, for me, and to be the man that you have always been, babe. You're not right. You're not yourself.
Let me speak real quick. I'm Vincent, Jay and Nicole's oldest son.
Right, and you're 19?
I am.
Okay, Vincent, go ahead.
I love both of my parents. I don't agree with my father for telling my younger brother, you know, because he has such anger towards my mother, which I don't want.
I have two rules about children. One is you never involve them in adult issues. You've violated that horribly. You never hold them responsible for things over which they have no control. You violated that terribly. You're up there grinning ear to ear like they love me, like I've won the popularity contest.
That's not what that.
And you've done so at your children's expense.
That's my confidence in raising them. That's not towards her.
So answer my question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any insight, awareness, or understanding that your involvement and your level here is counterproductive, abnormal?
I do agree that I am not right now, yes.
I can't diagnose you because I haven't done everything that would be necessary to do that. But I can tell you on the short list of considerations would be that you're suffering from a delusional disorder, jealousy type. It's a non-schizophrenic individual experiences non-bizarre delusions where the central theme is that his or her spouse or lover is unfaithful. And what it means is every other aspect you're functional, but you've become so obsessed with this that it crowds out everything else in your life. We'll be right back. I feel so fortunate that Terry Crews is here today because I'm going to tell you this man has been in a situation where this man is right now. He has been in a situation where he thought it was everybody else and not him. And he had the courage to man up and own it. And as a result, he saved his family, he saved his children, and it took guts and it took courage. You need to call time out and put yourself in the shop.
I do.
And I'm going to tell you what I think you need to do. I'm going to recommend that you go to a place called On-Site. And On-Site is a place, it's in the rolling hills of Tennessee, and it is a place that creates very intensive workshops. And here's how they do this. They bring in the top experts from all over the world that specialize in working with people that have been through some type of emotional trauma in their life, that have lost their way, that have kind of lost their bearings, and they put together experiences from these top professionals to help you hit the reset button and get your focus back in life. And we consider On-Site to be a really trusted source for anybody that's struggling with trauma, self-worth, self-esteem, marital issues, mental health issues. I would like you to work on yourself there, get your bearings, and if after being there you believe that this would be of value to the mother of your children, then we'll make it available to her as well.
I appreciate that.
Okay, to get this family headed in the right direction.
Yes.
Will you take that help?
110%.
Okay, that's what I want to do. I would like to thank all of my guests today as well.